just finished speaking in a meeting. Maybe you presented something. Maybe you made a point that landed, that actually shifted the room. And afterwards, someone comes over, warm, smiling, clearly meaning well, and says it. "You're so articulate." Or, "You're so well-spoken." And for a second you smile and say thank you, because it sounds like a compliment. But somewhere underneath it, something doesn't quite sit right. A small snag you can't put your finger on. Here's what your gut already knows, even if the person who said it never will. That wasn't really a compliment. Not the kind you think it was. In this video, I'll tell you what "you're so articulate" actually means when it's said to you at work, what's happening underneath it, why it's so common, and what to do with it, without losing your cool, your job, or your sense of who you are. Because once you can hear what's really being said, it stops having any power over you. Start with the word itself. Articulate just means you express yourself clearly. On its own, harmless, a fine thing to be. But the meaning of a word isn't just the dictionary, it's when it gets used, and who it gets used about. Think about it. Nobody walks up to the most confident man in the room and says, with a little note of surprise in their voice, "Wow, you're so articulate." You say that to the person you didn't expect it from. And that's the whole thing, right there. "You're so articulate" isn't praise for being good, it's surprise that you were good. The compliment has a silent second half that never gets said out loud. For someone like you. You didn't clear a high bar. You cleared a bar they'd quietly set on the floor, and they're telling you, kindly, that they're impressed you stepped over it. And here's why it lands the way it does. Why that snag in your chest is real, and not you being too sensitive. In a single sentence, you get re-categorised. A moment ago, you were a colleague who made a sharp point. Now you're a surprisingly articulate black professional. Your race just walked into the room and sat down on top of your competence. It takes the thing you actually did well, the thinking, the work, the argument, and quietly swaps it for a comment about how you came across. It's the close cousin of "I love your energy." Both praise the surface, so they don't have to engage with the substance. Both leave you complimented, and somehow a little smaller than you were a minute ago. On its own, once, you can let it go. Honestly, you can. But it almost never comes on its own. It comes alongside being mixed up with the other black colleague, the one who looks nothing like you. It comes with your firmness being read as aggressive, when the exact same tone in someone else gets called passionate. It comes with being the only one in the room, again. Explaining, again. Each one is small. Each one is deniable. I didn't mean anything by it, and often, genuinely, they didn't. But they stack. And the stacking is exhausting in a way the people around you never have to think about. That quiet daily tax has a name in the research now, and it's one of the reasons progression can stall for talented people, even when the work is excellent. Now, here's the part that makes this genuinely hard to handle. Most of the time, the person saying it is not a villain. They're not sitting there thinking any of this through. It's an expectation they didn't even know they were carrying, surfacing as a clumsy, well-meant compliment. And that is exactly what makes it so slippery and so risky to confront head-on. Because the moment you turn round and say, "What's that supposed to mean?" you become the problem. Suddenly you're the one who can't take a compliment, who read too much into it, who made it about race. That's the tone policing trap. and we both know who tends to fall into it. So the goal in that moment isn't to win it, it's to keep your power in it.
So here's what you actually do. And pick by the moment and the person, because not every one of these is worth the same response. 1. The calm redirect. Smile, take it, and steer straight back to the work. Thanks. So what did you think of the actual proposal? You confirm nothing, you escalate nothing, and you put the conversation back where it belongs, on what you said, not how you said it. 2. The light mirror. A small pause, a look, and a flat, easy, articulate. I'll take it. Said right, it lets them hear their own words bounce back, without you having to explain a single thing. 3. If it's a pattern from the same person and the relationship can carry it, name it once. Quietly, privately, no courtroom. I know you meant it well, but articulate lands a certain way, just so you know. Then let it go. You've planted it. You don't have to stand there and win it. And 4, the one that matters more than all of them. Don't you dare internalize the low expectation. That snag you felt wasn't weakness, it was accuracy. Don't let a backhanded compliment talk you into shrinking yourself to fit the size someone else imagined you were.
And then step all the way back from the single moment. Because here's the trap underneath the trap. You cannot personally educate every person who says something clumsy at work, and exhausting yourself trying will drain the exact energy your career needs. So spend that energy where it actually moves something. Build real relationships with the people who judge you by your output. Find sponsors, people who'll say your name in the rooms you're not even in. And keep your own record of what you deliver, in writing, so your case never rests on someone else's surprise that you're good. Pick the battles that change the outcome. Let the rest quietly show you who people are, and file it away. Here's the truth underneath all of it. You're so articulate was never really about you at all. It was about what they expected before you ever opened your mouth. It tells you the size of their assumption, not the size of your ability. And once you can hear it for exactly what it is, it loses the only power it ever had. The power to make you doubt yourself for even a second in a room you have already earned your place in. You're not surprisingly good. You're good. Full stop.